Vietnamese nights, often quiet, but sometimes whispers. Stories carried on the breeze, old stories, ghost stories. They are part of the land, part of the people. They tell of things unseen, things that wait in the shadows, a chill that has no source. These are not just tales for fright. They are lessons, warnings. They speak of sorrow, of justice not found, of spirits who cannot rest. They remind us the veil between worlds is thin, very thin sometimes, especially when the moon is hidden. Tonight we listen to 3 such whispers. Prepare to listen closely. The night is full of voices. Quan 8, Saigon. A young couple, newly married, full of hope. They found a small house. It was old, a little worn, but it felt like home. For a little while it was. Then the nights changed their tune. The quiet became heavy, watchful. An old house holds many secrets. Theirs held a cold one waiting. The doorbell would ring, late at night, very late, long after the city slept its fitful sleep.
Ding dong.
A sharp, sudden sound, breaking the oppressive silence. They would rush to the door, peep through the small hole. No one there, ever. Just the empty, shadowed alley, cold, dark. The ringing came again, night after night, always no one. Their fear grew like a weed.
Ding dong.
The husband was tired of it all. He was angry, his patience gone. He flung the door open wide, ready to shout, to confront. But the alley was empty, as always. He turned back inside, defeated, frustrated. The air felt colder. That was when his wife screamed, a terrible piercing sound that cut the night. He ran to her, his heart pounding. She pointed, her hand trembled. At the dark television screen, the TV was off, a blank surface, but it reflected the room. It reflected the open doorway. And in the reflection, a figure, a woman, long dark hair, standing just outside the threshold, smiling, a terrible cold smile, but there was no one there, only in the glass. The bell never rang again. They moved out the very next day. Ben Tre, land of coconuts, land of winding rivers, green canals. Min went there for his work. He stayed in a small guest house near the water, where the air was thick. The nights were humid, heavy, thick with the sound of crickets. And something else. A soft sound, like someone crying softly, or whispering sad, lost words. He tried to ignore it at first. He heard it clearly one night. Whispers, coming from the riverbank. He was curious, a little scared too. He walked towards the mournful sound. The moon was a sliver in the dark sky, casting long, dancing shadows everywhere. He saw a shape near an old banyan tree, a girl. She wore a white dress. It seemed to glow faintly in the gloom. Her back was to him. She seemed very still, very alone. "Who are you?" Min asked. His voice trembled a little in the quiet. The girl did not turn, did not move. The whispering continued like the river's flow. Sad words, lost words, regretful words. He felt a deep chill spread through him, not from the night air. This was a cold from within. He felt a deep, overwhelming sadness. An old woman from the village told him later about the girl, a tragic tale. She had loved a man from the village. He promised to marry her, to stay. Then he left. For the big city. He never came back for her. Heartbroken, she drowned herself in the river, wearing her white ao dai, her best dress. Now, she waits. She whispers, looking for her lost love by the water. A sorrow that never ends, forever trapped. Nam Dong Forest, green, dense, full of life, seen and unseen, and shadows.
I was a young student then, on a school camp in the wilderness. We were learning about nature, about survival in the wild. But the forest had its own lessons, older lessons, darker lessons.
The first night was uneasy, tense. The trees seemed to watch them. The air was heavy, expectant. Nam needed to use the latrine. It was far from the tents, deeper into the trees, away from the fire.
I took a flashlight. Its beam was weak. The path was narrow, overgrown. Branches scraped my arms like claws. I heard a sound, a rustling. Not an animal. Something else. Something that dragged, heavy, slow.
He shone his light around. Nothing, just the dark trees. He hurried his steps. On his way back to the camp, he heard it again. Closer this time. A strange clicking sound, a low growl. It was behind him, following him.
I started to run, stumbling on roots. The flashlight beam danced wildly. I risked a look back, just one. I saw it, tall, very thin, moving awkwardly, unnaturally. Its eyes glowed red in my weak light. It was not animal, not human. It was wrong, utterly wrong.
He screamed. He reached the camp, crying, terrified, shaking and unable to speak clearly. No one believed him fully, not really. A nightmare, they said. The dark plays tricks. Next morning, they found something, near where he said he saw it. A small torn piece of paper, like from an old damp notebook. On it, one word, scrawled messily, in what looked like dried blood. Mine. The forest kept its secrets, and its hunger, it always does. These stories, they are different. A city house in busy Saigon, a quiet riverbank in the delta, a deep, dark forest in the mountains. But they share something vital, a feeling, a cold breath on the neck. They speak of places where the veil is thin, where the other world touches ours easily. Often it is where strong emotions were felt, great sorrow, or great injustice, deep anger. These feelings linger, like a stubborn stain. They soak into the very ground. The ghosts are often women, the woman at the door with her cold smile, the girl in white forever waiting. This is common in Vietnamese folklore. Perhaps it reflects old sorrows, unheard voices from the past, unfulfilled lives, dreams cut short. Their presence is a reminder, a story that needs to be told, again and again, so they are not forgotten. Or perhaps their presence is a warning, a caution to the living. Water is also a common thread. The girl by the river in Ben Tre. Rivers and lakes, ponds and wells. They are seen as gateways, portals, to the spirit world, the world of shades, places of transition, of loss, of cleansing. Even the dampness of the Saigon alley. It can feel like a conduit for things that should stay hidden, things that drift between worlds, looking for something they lost. And then there are the warnings. Don't open the door to strangers, especially at night when shadows rule. Be careful near places of tragedy. Respect the forest, its ancient power. These are more than scary tales for fun. They are traditional wisdom, passed down through generations, to keep people safe, to guide them, to remind them to be cautious. The world is not always what it seems, especially in the shadows, where truth hides. The bell that rings for no one, the girl who waits by the dark water, the thing that hunts in the deep woods. These stories stay with us. Long after we hear the last word, they creep into our thoughts. When we are alone in the quiet, when the night is too still, or too full of strange, small sounds, they remind us of a hidden world, a world that walks beside our own. Vietnamese ghost stories. They are a mirror held up, reflecting fears we all share, reflecting sorrows that touch many, reflecting the culture itself, its beliefs. They show a deep respect for the ancestors, for the spirits that may linger, a belief that death is not always the end. Sometimes it is just a different kind of beginning, a different kind of presence, among us, watching, waiting. Do these spirits truly exist, or are they products of our imagination? Born from fear of the unknown? Perhaps it does not matter in the end. Their stories serve a purpose. They teach us empathy. They caution us. They make us look over our shoulder. They make us think about the mysteries of life and of death, and what might lie beyond the veil, what waits for us there. So, next time you hear a strange sound, a whisper on the evening wind, a creak in an empty, silent house, remember these tales from Vietnam. Remember the unseen that might be near. Perhaps it is nothing at all. The wind, an old house settling, or perhaps it is a story, waiting to be heard by you, waiting to be told once more. The darkness has many voices. If you listen closely, you might hear them too. Night.